All right, so question 5 asks us to explain that the metabolic systems are not on and off switches. What that refers to is the fact that the anaerobic and aerobic metabolic systems for ATP resynthesis are independent systems, but they work cohesively with one another to ensure that our bodies have the appropriate amount of ATP to sustain muscle contraction and activity for as long as we need our body to do that. So, the first 2 to 3 minutes of activity, the anaerobic systems are primarily used. The first 10 to 20 seconds of activity is going to be heavily reliant upon the ATP PCR system, while the next 2 to 3 minutes after that are going to be heavily reliant on the glycolytic systems, and then after that, the aerobic systems, electron transport chain, and the Krebs cycle are mainly responsible for resynthesizing ATP for any amount of time past that at a given intensity. While all those pathways are working, the ATP PCR system is working while the glycolytic systems are getting ready to take over the bulk of the work and for ATP resynthesis. So as ATP PCR is coming down off that peak of its ATP resynthesizing rate, then the glycolytic systems are picking up that slack as the ATP PCR system is putting it down, basically. And then that same kind of process is happening between the glycolytic systems and the start of using our aerobic systems as well. The aerobic systems are gathering resources and getting ready and running more and more efficiently, and are producing more and more ATP at a consistent level so that they can allow for muscle contraction for those extended periods of time. But as those systems are warming up, the glycolytic systems are cooling down and are providing us with less and less ATP, while the aerobic systems are providing us with more and more. So it's not as if though the ATP PCR system turns on and off within that 10 to 30 second period. They are working, it's working, and then it is working less until the next system can take over, and then that one is working until it starts working less, and that's the point where the aerobic systems start to take over the majority of the ATP resynthesis. But none of these systems ever stop working or just start working in any situation. They're all always running and always working with each other to supplement what ATP is not being resynthesized by the other system.